Hey, Starseed Warriors. I don't know where to start. I'm going to try and keep this kind of short and simple and sweet. The last week or so, I've been trying so hard to do certain things, and it seems like every time I try to do something, I keep getting thwarted. My efforts are thwarted, such as out of nowhere, my laptop cord just isn't working, and then I looked at it and it looks like it's cracked. So I don't know if it got so cold that it cracked, because I kind of store it in a place where it gets pretty cold, but or if it's just I don't know, spirit's way of trying to get me to relax a little bit. I don't know. Um, but then yesterday I did an amazing reading for a beautiful couple friend of mine. And afterwards, I was feeling really good and I was going to record something. And then again, I just kind of got this vibe. I was like, I was cleaning out my phone. So I was like, well, I can record on my phone, but I only had like 10 minutes or something. And then finally, before I knew it, it was like 9 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I'll just do something tomorrow. And Ed and I had planned on doing laundry today, going to the laundromat. We had all these like plans of things to do for the next few days. And just trying to like make sure that we're prepared, just in case for what's going on with the inauguration tomorrow. Anyway, and then I got a call last night from my mom. And it's really weird because a few days ago I decided to delete all of my family out of my phone. I decided I needed, in order for me to move forward, I really, really needed to just delete them from my phone because I found that I would still get triggered sometimes, like seeing their names or, whatever, when I was going to contact somebody else in my list, in my contact list. But it's kind of weird because I feel like I was so mentally prepared to do that, to like walk away from my family, at least for now, for me. And then my mom called me last night and told me my dad died. Now, he is my stepfather, but he was my dad's best friend. And when my parents divorced, my mom and he leaned on each other a lot, and they ended up getting together. And I was only like maybe 13 or 14 when they got together. So, and he's been in my life for as long as I can remember. And he was a really good father to me when my dad wasn't or couldn't or didn't want to be there for me. I just looked down, it was 3:03. Anyway, I ended up being on the phone with my mom for 4.5 hours. It was intense and beautiful and sad. And now today is Tuesday, the 19th, and I don't know. I don't know how to feel right now. So I don't know. I just wanted you guys to know what's going on with me and why I was so excited to do a pick a pile with our new deck that we got, the Making Magic Oracle deck. I've been trying to do that since the new moon. And if you know, on the new moon, we lost power. So it's just been like, honestly, the last few weeks have just been one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. But one of the reasons why I got so upset was because, I should say, with my family and everything, is my stepdad fell and broke his ankle at the end of October. And I just got this really strong feeling. I kept seeing like aneurysm, and then I saw like blood vessels breaking, and I just had this really bad feeling. And I said, can you please have them check this, that, and the other? And my mom's like, they checked everything. And I was like, I just have this really bad feeling. And I was like, can you please like have them check one more time or something? I'm like, I'm just concerned that something's going to happen to him. I saw like internal bleeding, and he died yesterday of internal bleeding. I wanted to stop talking to my family anyway because they don't exactly make me feel good about myself or my gifts or what my purpose is here. So I had decided to use my channel away from them. But what's really difficult is sometimes I don't get all the clues, you know, sometimes my gift isn't exact. It's not an exact science. And sometimes I just get a visual or a message, but I don't know exactly what it's going to be. And when the coroner got there and they deducted that he had internal bleeding, he's like, "Do you want an autopsy?" And my mom's like, "No. I mean, if he died, I mean, there's nothing I can do now. There's nothing, you know." But of course, I tread lightly at first on the phone with my mom. But then, like, when it got towards, and what was really hard was his birthday was November 30th, and I was always the first one to text him. He used to call me LBG, little baby girl. And I didn't text him this year. I had decided from that moment on that I wasn't going to talk to them anymore. And when I talked to her yesterday, I said, "Was he really sad that I didn't text him on his birthday?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." She's like, "I mean, I'm not going to lie to you." She's like, "He was very sad." And he texted me on my birthday in December, and I didn't return his text. And he always said, "I'm not like," you know, he married into our family. So he was always like, you know, "I'm not one of them. Don't include me in the family," kind of thing. Like when I'd get mad at the family, he would always be there for me, especially with a drink and a cigarette. I'm shooting a video really quick. Um, but anyway, so I just felt really sad and really bad. And I know he knows how I feel about him. And he came to me almost instantly after I got off the phone with my mom. And I was about to go to bed. It was like 2:30 in the morning or something. And I heard, "Turn on your music." And it was his voice. And the first song he played was My Girl. He had 3 sons, and he always considered my sister and I his daughters, but he always told me, like, I was his LBG, his little baby girl, because he'd known me most of my life. But he was a far right Trump supporter and all that, and I just had, with the election and everything, and he was in the hospital, I just didn't. And then I sensed that he was fine, and then I kind of heard through the grapevine that he was okay, so I thought he was okay. Little did I know that the aneurysm or the bleeding would happen later. I can't change it. And I'm okay. You know, I mean, I'm taking some downtime, but I just got home to bring dinner. I'm like, I can't cook today because I'm the type of person, I cook with love in my heart. And even though there's love in my heart, I'm very sad. And I already lost my real father. And so it was hard. But their relationship obviously dwindled and was stressed with my mom, you know, marrying his best friend. And he used to always say, you know, "I love your mom, but I miss my best friend so much." And so after My Girl, I started crying hysterically. And then the next song was Sweet Child of Mine. You know, I play it on shuffle and let spirit talk to me. And I can, and he was a singer, my stepdad, and I can hear him singing like, "She's got eyes of the bluest skies, and if they thought of rain." And then I saw he flanked one side and my dad flanked the other. And then a lot of other music played. It was crazy. Like the next song was Going to California, which, like, I used to live in California and he never came to visit, only because he and my mom couldn't afford it. They can only ever afford for one of them to come, and it was always her. And he used to always say, "Gosh, you lived there for almost a decade and I never even got to go." And that song started playing and he's like, "I can go anywhere I want now. California, where you are now." He's like, "I'm with you." And then I like bawled my eyes out, and all these other songs played, like Ave Maria played next, and he used to sing that. I'm just like, it was insanely awesome, but also sad. And then as I finally, like, tried to go to bed, I laid there, and as I closed my eyes and I started to drift off to sleep, I just saw a vision. My dad was a guitar player and my stepdad was a singer, and they weren't in a band together, but they were both musicians. And I just saw them young, like kind of in a cool vintage car. And they were like sitting in the front seat and they were kind of like turned back, like looking at me. And then they turned back around and they drove away together. And I thought, you know, his mom, he was really close to his mom, and his mom died when he was 18. She fell, I think she fell down the stairs or fell in the shower or something, and her nose like broke and went into her brain and like killed her instantly. And his father was really hard and mean. He was a mean, mean man when he was alive. He had a sweet side, but he was very mean most of the time, and he beat my stepfather and was just really hard on him. He loved the mother, and then she died, and then he was like stuck with these two boys, you know, living in a really rough part of Chicago where they were one of the only white families. And so he struggled. He had reverse racism where he was beat up in, like, he was in all black schools mostly, where he was beat up and a lot and made fun of, and so he just had kind of a rough go. But he was this amazing, beautiful, gifted singer. And like I just started like all these moments were coming back, and I just started crying and crying and crying. And Ed just like kind of, he was asleep but he could feel me, and he just like pulled me closer to him. And oh, 11/28. Oh, my dad's birthday is going to be February 28th. That's interesting. Oh, and 11/28. Oh, that's really hard because that's when he came home from the hospital. That's so wild. I just realized that. Anyway, so that's what I'm going through, and that's why I'm not doing spirit work right now. And I have a reading on Thursday for a good friend of mine, but other than that, I'm like, if you don't see any readings, I tried cleaning out my phone, but I don't have much room on here, and until I get a cord for my laptop, which I need to order that, I won't be doing much of anything. But I'm working on it. I am still working on it in the background. I just need to work through these emotions for a minute. It's like there's a part of me, I think why I needed to like cut ties completely was because I knew he was, I should say, like when it all happened, I knew he was going to die, but I thought he was going to die then. And then when he didn't, I just assumed he was fine. You know, our gifts aren't a clear, precise science. Sometimes I get the messages crystal clear, and sometimes I just get a message, but I don't get a timeline at all. Interestingly enough, I seem to get more timelines for other people than myself, but I digress. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. I love you, and I pray that wherever you are happy and healthy and safe. And until then, I'm going to go eat my food my beloved brought me. I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh.